What is going on, YouTube world and beyond? We got an exciting video for you today. It is 2/17 Wednesday, hump day. Quick value bomb, hump day. What a phenomenal branding on the word Wednesday. Again, value bomb for you guys. Got a lot of value bombs this episode. But a lot of exciting things happening in the world of classical music, Jimmy John's, and Chips Ahoy. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for your love and support. Let's hop into it. In recent news, the San Francisco Symphony rebrands in hopes of drawing in a wider audience. I think a big challenge that any symphony group, the LA Philharmonic in this case, obviously it's an interesting audience that tends to appreciate classical music. I want to say, and I don't want to bucket or categorize certain people, but for the most part, the people that tend to like this sort of offering, this product, is an older audience. A lot of older people tend to like symphonic music. The San Francisco Symphony Group has decided to try to engage with the younger audience, which I really love the idea that they rebranded. Most of the time you see companies are rebranding, Burger King is rebranding, like how do you make a burger chain more hip for a younger audience? But this is a little bit interesting because this is music artists, an homage to like classical music, people who are passionate about a specific type of music, but how do you make it cool? I think at the end of the day, branding comes down to like, again, how do you reposition yourself? Make it cool. No one rebrands to a worse place than they once were. They're trying to elevate, step up their game. So far, based from what you see on this website here, it seems like they're doing a pretty good job. It looks like a big focus for this initiative was to focus on their typography, focus on how the letters appear. So it looks like they have a new custom variable typeface called ABC Symphony that evokes a sensation of singing and qualities that traditional classical music, that elegance, that grandeur. How do you make a text? Again, the details, right? Everything is all about the details when it comes to branding. So if they really want to be about this ABC, always be closing approach, how do you be detail oriented with everything that you do? I really like the text here. As you can see, it's very classical. I feel like it fits the mood very well. And the fact that they took the time to make sure that the text aligned with where they wanted to go tells me that they're serious about this rebranding. So it appears that everything that you see, from the posters outside to the box office, to the tickets, to the social media, to the website, everything is going to be changed. The color palette is also a bit playful too. So it expands more from black and white to more of white, olive green, bright pink, electric yellows, limes, which are all inspired by colors of San Francisco. Taking at its core, what is the product, what is the emotion, what is the mood, and how can we fit it all together in what we're trying to do. The brand also includes a digital tool called the Synthesizer, an interactive audio tool that allows you to play around with the type yourself by typing words that change in size, shape, depending on how loudly you speak. It's currently available on Collins' site, but it'll also be a tool for the San Francisco Symphony creative team to build their own content. So they're going to take this and expand upon it even further, which is really exciting to see. I think this is an interesting step in the direction. Hopefully many symphonies or other organizations start to realize that branding is not just for businesses in the B2B space, but any organization looking to revamp and tell their audience or attract a wider audience. Another exciting news in the sandwich space, Jimmy John's now bets on a stronger DNA, a new rebranding designed specifically for digital. According to this article on Marketing Dive, they needed to keep up with their quote-unquote freaky fast, freaky fresh sort of branding approach. Obviously, the sandwich shop was actually recently introduced to the world a new advertisement on the Super Bowl featuring the fictional meat boss Tony Bolognavich, who is a self-proclaimed king of cold cuts. I just watched it recently right before. It was pretty hilarious. It kind of had Italian mobster vibe to it, but I think at its core, Jimmy John's knows that this is a competitive space in the sandwich market. You have companies like Subway, Jersey Mike's. There's so many competitors in the Subway or sort of the sub shop space. And so being able to have a different approach, a different stance in a saturated market is essential moving forward. An interesting challenge that they had faced was that they really pushed this. They wanted to be known as someone that was like freaky fast. That was actually a motto that they heavily relied on. But it basically undersold that the fact that they offered quality ingredients, that they were just pushing that they can give this to you as quickly as possible. But what they want to push or continue to push right now is really strike this balance between freaky fast and freaky fresh, right? How do you get the best of both worlds without giving up one or the other? Now a big investment that they're trying to take is to be more digital. I think they just opened one recently in my old place in North Hollywood, and they really pushed mobile ordering. Order through the app and get a free sandwich. Order through the app and continue to build points. So really pushing to be more digital friendly, to be more consistent on a digital platform, and to collect more information to understand their consumers, to serve them better. It says here actually in the article that quality was something that had fallen to the wayside when it came to messaging with consumers. So now with their new sort of agency that they were working with, Change Up, they had to strike this balance of how do you get this message across. Specifically, quote unquote, Ryan Brazelton mentions value and quality are the toughest things because you can't communicate them. Words only mean so much. You have to be those words. So I think it'll be interesting to see the approach that Jimmy John's has. How do they stay competitive in such a saturated market? How do they continue to push this balance between quality and speed? What else does a customer want other than a high quality item as quick as possible? In order to really say that and believe that to your core as a business, you have to be able to execute upon that. Every time I've ordered personally at Jimmy John's, I can absolutely say that I have received a quality sandwich in impeccable speeds. So the fact that a business can promise that and offer that is incredible. And to have that as your core messaging and pushing that moving forward and seeing opportunity on digital, I'm excited to see where Jimmy John's is headed. Take a bite out of this. Chips Ahoy is asking fans to design sneakers for its mascot, Chip. Mondelez's Chips Ahoy is asking sneakerheads to vote on their favorite shoe designed for Chip, the cookie brand. Chips Ahoy partnered with the sneaker customizer Dominic the Shoe Surgeon Chiambrone to create a real-life version of the shoes, which will be given away as a first prize in the sweepstakes. Mondelez will also donate $5 to the Boys and Girls Club of America for every vote that it receives in their sweepstakes. So a lot of money will be going to charity through this sweepstakes or contest or competition, however you like to view it. So this really goes to show us that mascots are growing, right? Like the Clippers recently got a mascot. I don't know how famous Chuck the Condor has been growing since then. More companies and organizations are starting to see value in creating these mascots, these brands to tap into just building relationships with people. On top of that, the sneakerhead culture is huge. They're a cookie company, and now they're trying to tap into the audience of people that are really obsessed with sneakers, right? Sneakerheads. So the growing popularity of sneakerhead culture has given rise to shoe resellers like GOAT and StockX. So providing incentives to participate in the sweepstakes with prizes such as a scholarship to the Shoe Surgeon Shoe School. Wow, that is a tongue twister. And a pair of the custom-built sneakers. The campaign is really just in place to help raise awareness for Chips Ahoy and strengthen ties with brand loyalists. I think this is just a perfect example of how companies are trying to reinvent their mascots and make them more relevant to consumers, make it more engaging, make it more fun, right? You can participate. Any normal person can participate and have influence on, again, if you like shoes, right? If that appeals to you and you like Chips Ahoy and you think it's cool that Chips Ahoy is making its own custom design sneaker that's going to be used for promotions and advertisements during 2021, that's awesome. But think about it from a customer and PR perspective. They're a freaking cookie brand making shoes, and they're asking people to throw in their ideas to make this awesome. So imagine what kind of sweet gear and sweet kicks that the Chips Ahoy mascot will have. It also mentions in this article that Kraft Heinz Planters, the Nuts person, also the Kool-Aid brand, have also developed similar strategies, but it'll be interesting to see if this is what it takes to start to be more competitive. Are we going to have a more competitive landscape with mascots and the kicks that they wear? So what can we learn from these three companies and, you know, from these strategies and approaches, right? This has nothing to do with how many cold calls they're making. This has nothing to do with selling more or selling a different thing. At the end of the day, this comes down to providing value. So quick value bomb for San Francisco Symphony Group. Reinvent the wheel and never be afraid to change, update, and grow. I think it's safe to say that most people in an older audience are going to be the likely person to go and check out a show, a symphony group. Now, granted, there might be some people my age, 25, that love this music, but I want to say for the most part, it's the older audience. So how do you make it relevant? How do you make it fun for this younger audience? They're adding text, they're changing their typography, they're changing their colors, they're changing the vibe and the aesthetic for what it means to be a consumer, to enjoy this kind of music. I think this is awesome. I think the LA Philharmonic should be taking notes here, absolutely, because everyone's due for a rebranding every once in a while. And are they going to be the ones to really kickstart for any other symphony groups moving forward? Value bomb for Jimmy John's, to really understand what your core offering is. I think they are starting to realize that it is absolutely saturated space in the sub shop market. But furthermore, being invested in storytelling, being invested in a digital strategy, creating good apps. I think there's a lot of companies out there that big chains that don't have very good apps. And the fact that Jimmy John's sees value in having a digital strategy. Check out that Super Bowl commercial they did. It was hilarious. What an insane, fun way to tell a story from a sub shop's perspective, right? His name was something Baloney. Pretty crazy to see. I think at the end of the day, what we've learned here is staying true to your core principles, which Jimmy John's to them is having an insanely good product, quality product, that can be delivered and executed in an insane, fast, quick time. And last but not least, value bomb with Chips new kicks. Just making it fun, engaging, and understanding what's hot right now. Sneakerhead culture, sneakerhead markets are huge. How can you play that into a cookie brand, right? Chip is a freaking cookie, and they're trying to make him some kicks so that the sneakerhead community has some buy-in, has some influence, has some direction, right? They're funneling them into the Chips Ahoy brand. What is going to result out of this shoe? Are they going to sell this shoe? Are people going to want this shoe? Of course, there's a lot of charities that are going to benefit from this project and sweepstakes and stuff like that. But now there's going to be a Chips Ahoy themed shoe. They literally have one of the biggest sneakerheads designers working on this. I love this picture right here of him checking the color scheme. We're getting this detailed oriented here, and the fact that we're living in a world where mascots of a cookie are now going to have customized kicks that you have input in creating. And I think at the end of the day, it's about cultivating community, right? Making it fun to use and engage with your product, but taking it that extra level and making it an experience, making it fun, and thinking about your customers at the end of the day. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed these value bombs. I appreciate all your love and support on this YouTube content so far, and we will catch you all on the next one.